Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're coming from. Welcome to Knit LA. And I'm emphasizing Knit LA because you may have noticed a little slight editing on the name of my channel. So I'm trying to align my socials a little bit more, so it's a little more cohesive. Anyway, and I dropped the 55 because frankly I'm turning 56 next week, or anyway on the 20th. So I just sort of grabbed that out of my back pocket when I created this account. So welcome or welcome back. It's good to be here. It's good to chat always, all things knitting, and to hear your feedback and comments and all of that good stuff. So it's damn cold in LA, like unusually cold. It is in the low 40s. It is windy, but it is crisp and clear, and the sky is so blue. It's like this blue. So actually I wasn't gonna start here, but I guess I will. And it's really hard to capture like the perfect color because it's actually showing up a lot lighter than it actually is. But this is basically the color of the sky, and this is a recent Nutiden acquisition, which I will refer to later in this video. But basically, this is the winter sky in California, Southern California. So yeah, super excited about that. I want to show my finished object. Hello. Hello. So this is my pressed flower shawl, and it's done, and it's gorgeous, and I love it. I'll hold it up a little closer. It's a nice size, although I'll be honest, and it feels amazing. Like it's got a really nice drape, and all the wool I used is really 100% wool, and then there's no superwash in here. So it's, I think if I had made it in a superwash, then it would have given it a little more stretch in the blocking process. But nonetheless, it's so amazing. And I've worn it like a ton. I've worn it a ton. It looks kind of weird with what I'm wearing, but I've worn it a ton. It's amazing. I just highly recommend this pattern. And I joined the Cal for this pattern as I had started it prior, but then, jumped on the train that's being hosted by Young Folk Knits and designed by so-and-so. And the Cal runs through the end of this month, and any of the pressed flowers patterns are welcome. And I had already cast on for the shawl, so yeah, it's done. It's done, and I totally love it. It's really good. Again, I like shawls. I love shawls, like, to really actually like wear like so. And I can wear this like so, but it moves around because I don't have a ton back here. So note to self. But anyway, that's a great FO, and I'm really happy that I got that finished. It's beautiful. And also totally California colors. It's so interesting because I also made that amazing instant crush sweater that I was sharing on Instagram. And it's basically the same colors, essentially. It's only missing like the really electric blue, but there's kind of some of that sky blue in there. Yeah, so it's just interesting. I know at that time, last year, I really needed color. And I got color, and I made all these two objects, actually, the Instant Crush and the shawl, in very similar color palettes. Not intentionally, but I've talked about that a lot before. So anyway, and I'll share what I'm wearing. I don't think I've worn this yet on here. This is a very popular pattern by Andrea Mowry. It was a Rhinebeck sweater, I believe. This is called the Illuminate, and I knit it. This was my first time using spin cycle yarns. And it's a little hard to see the gradient in here. But I totally love this sweater. And I think I had run out of the nest, which is the other yarn. So it's spin cycle plus magpie fibers nest. And I totally wasn't gonna make this ever until I saw my friend Jeannie wearing hers, which was like out of this world stunning. So I was like, ooh, maybe I should make that. So, and it was also very exciting to try spin cycle because I had never tried it before. Again, I chose a very neutral palette, and it, honestly, I didn't manage the yarn really at all. And so maybe if I had played around with it a little, it would have been a little more color changey. But I think this was a good way to start with spin cycle. I wasn't sure about it. Anyway, and this was my second time using spin cycle. So yeah, it's great. I get it. I get why everybody loves it. So I had run out of yarn, and I just decided to So I made it a 3/4 sleeve, which I really regret because I can't wear this woolly wool in the spring or summer, really. But in the winter, when I want to wear this sweater, you know, I've got all this exposed skin, so maybe not the best choice. But I love the sweater, and I love the fit, and I think I did this, I don't know, it was a long time ago that I knit this, like 2021 possibly, whenever she released it. Yeah, whenever she released it for that Rhinebeck. But it's very comfy, and I wear it with like big baggy pants, as I'm known for. Super big baggy pants. You can't really see because I didn't leave myself enough room. Okay, that's really weird. Okay, Illuminate. I wonder if you've made it. And what did you think? Do you love it? Do you wear it all the time? Because I feel like this is a very wearable sweater with almost anything in my wardrobe. So I really want to start by talking about the Pierre affair cal that's going on. And thank you to those of you who showed up on the Instagram Live. That was so cool. And yeah, I'm super excited. I am flying through the shawl. Okay, so I have set this very relaxed time frame for this cal. And if you don't know, this is a shawl that I've been wanting to knit for a few years. It's been on my, favorites. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to knit it in community. It's a gorgeous textured shawl by Stephen West, and it's called the Pierre shawl, hence Pierre affair. It's knitting up, so it's a DK weight shawl, and it's actually knitting up so fast. So here's mine. now. I think I only have like one more section left, but it is this just beautiful, you know, it's a textured shawl. And, you know, as I was making it, I was like, oh God, I really wish, like, this would be gorgeous in one color. Gorgeous. So, yeah. I love the yarns I'm knitting with. I love them so much. This first yarn is Mountain Meadow Wool. They're DK. And then I held Farmer's Daughter Fiber sock yarn double. You can kind of see some little speckles emerging, little green and brown speckles. And then that continues until I added the kind of greenish. This also has like some beautiful speckles. Why? In it. This has some beautiful speckles in it. And this is a Ritual Dyes DK from a tarot subscription that I had, I think last year. I no longer have it, but yeah. But I am enjoying knitting this so much. And I actually paused because I was like, I'm gonna be done. And this cal runs through May. I'm also gonna knit the socks though. I love the socks. So I'm gonna add that to my Pierre shawl collection. So the Pierre cal runs from now through the end of May. And any and all of the Pierre patterns are very welcome. And I think what I'm gonna do is set up a Zoom meeting in February so that we can all check in and see what's everyone doing and meet each other face to face, because that's kind of the most appealing thing to me about knitting along with others, is like meeting the people you're knitting along with. So I want to do that in February. Date to be announced. So I'm working on that, but I have set it aside because I was like completely obsessively knitting on it and it was just flying. Another thing I cast on this weekend, whoops, is the very, very, very popular pattern released by Natasha Hornsby of Moonstruck Knits. And that is the Artus shawl, Artus, A-R-T-U-S. I'm sure you all are very aware of that shawl. So I've just gotten started on the, first half, which is like this beautiful textured waffle stitch with some color work. It was looking a little Harry Potter to me, but my kids were like, no, Mom, it's not. I still think it kind of is. So the gray is my main color, and the gray is the Better Breakfast fingering from Bare Naked Wools. It is heaven on earth, and I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like once it's blocked. So that is my main color, the dark gray, which is this. I've used quite a bit already, but it is just the most incredible yarn. It is so soft. Oh my God. These are my other two colors that I've already started working with. Color 2, color 3. I'm pretty sure this is the Olan sock that was possibly gonna go into my Pierre shawl. Wait, is it? This might be another skein of it that I found. And then this is the Hue Loco that I shared in a previous video. This is more accurate back here because it is like this rich, rich coffee color, and it's part of their coffee house collection. And this was 150 gram skein. And these two are gonna play together a lot in the shawl. And then my next color, I actually haven't fully decided yet. But color 4 is either going to be this beautiful Farmer's Daughter Fibers, I believe. Yes. Look at this gorgeous color. Oh my God. It's a sock yarn. Or this very old Madeline Tosh single sock, which is also incredibly soft. I've knit a garment out of this yarn and I just love it so much. And it is really deep, like midnight blue. So I'll hold up all the colors in a second. Let me know which you think looks better from an outside perspective. And then my final color is another skein of Better Breakfast Fingering in this yummiest of colors. So basically, it's either gonna be the gray plus this, not necessarily in that order, or the gray plus this. Whoops, no, the gray plus this. And I think the rust works really well in terms of like just the relationship with the dark brown. But you know, I have the other Stephen West shawl that I made has a lot of this kind of tones in it. And I've always wanted to use this deep magenta, this deep midnight blue. So I'm just gonna kind of see. I'll decide in the moment. But I'm very much enjoying the stitches, the stitch pattern. This is also working up very fast. And it's just, I'm super excited. Like I love knitting shawls, and that was really my origin story of knitting, is like shawls. So, and I do think in terms of my goal for really knitting with stash this year, shawls are an excellent choice for that, because, you know, oftentimes you can combine colors, you can combine all different kinds of yarns. So I have this feeling that, yeah, I have this feeling there's gonna be a lot of shawls. And there are a couple of Stephen West shawls I really want to make, actually with a single color. Hopefully I have enough yarn for that. I think it's called the Smorgasbord shawl, which is just a huge shawl with lots and lots of textured sections. I'd love to knit that in an all neutral cream, ivory, white color palette. I think that would be, you know, I really want to knit in white, which I have never wanted to knit in white. Anyway, never say never. I have a couple of other whips going on, but I have noticed, like, with these shawls, I'm pretty monogamous. Like, now that I've started the Artus shawl, this is really the only thing I want to knit. Like, I'm not hankering to cast anything else on. I just want to knit it to completion. And that's sort of the same issue with the Pierre shawl. So I think that's kind of just an interesting to note, you know. I have not, well, actually that's not true. I have cast on a sweater. I have cast on a sweater and I want to show it, because what's exciting about this particular sweater is that, sorry, I should have prepared a little better. I just brought this huge basket. Okay, so I did cast on, this was like right at the new year. I cast on the Color Play Pullover by Beth McDonald Stone. And it is a very cute pattern. It has little puff sleeves. It's kind of more fitted. It's really a sweet pattern and also an opportunity to use up whatever yarns, because they show it in kind of all different colors and kind of as a stash buster. So I cast this on New Year's. And this yarn, I just want everyone to know, this yarn, I made this yarn. I made this yarn. Like, what? Yes, I did. I'm so proud of this yarn, and I want to show you the other skein. So this yarn I spun up, finished by the end of the year, which I was really wanting to do. And what's so sweet is that this was the Nest Advent. So I every day got a little bump of new fiber. And at first I started spinning just the bump and thought I could sort of maintain that schedule, but truthfully I could not. And so I wound up just kind of splitting by color. So I'd have pinks and oranges and ambers on one section, and then I would spin together the blues, the purples, and the greens. So it's interesting to see, because a lot of people who have spun their Advent from Nest Fibers have a much different looking product. But what I love so much about this is that I can actually see my progress spinning. Okay, so I picked the third skein as my cast on, because it was kind of like pretty good. But here are my 3 skeins from top to bottom, 1, 2, and 3. And I think it's very noticeable, like, that my spinning just got a lot like more consistent. And I think in that way, now I understand sort of the tension that needs to be implemented when spinning one's yarn, especially during the plying process. So I love them all, don't get me wrong, but I have to say, I am so blown away by this skein. Like, I am blown away by it. Can you see it? It is like insane. So I'm really excited. I'm just excited. So I did cast that sweater on, although I'm not like crazy. I'm not that interested in knitting it right now, but I did want to share it because I'm stoked about that yarn. And that was all spun on my electric eel wheel from Dreaming Robots. I have the big one. I believe it's the electric wheel 6, 6.0, something like that. And I love it so much. I love it so much. Yeah, so I have some other stuff like in progress as well. I have some socks that I shared last time with Nomadic Yarns. I just kind of don't feel like talking about it right now because there's not that much farther along. And I'd rather talk about other things. So one of the things I really want to talk about is kind of ideas for this year knitting. And as I shared a lot of my stash on the last video, I've kind of had some ideas about what I want to make. So I thought I would share that now. And one of the patterns is from this wonderful SANDNES GARN catalog. It is 2202. It's the, I can't remember if it's, anyway, every single pattern in this book is completely knittable. Like I want every single thing in this. There's amazing pullover sweaters. Anyway, so this is what I really want to make in the beginning of this year. This is called the Amy Slipover. And here's another picture of it. I think it's actually incredibly beautiful. I don't think I'm gonna knit the ties. However, there are two, like, it's connected by two big ties. And I don't think that is what I'm gonna be knitting. I think I wanna maybe just either seam it in one spot, something. But that is what I've decided to use for this funny yarn that I shared, the Cascade Aero, which is this extra fluffy, soft, gorgeous brown. And I really wanted to like knit some turtlenecks, or like I'm seeing a lot of crazy gorgeous sweaters that almost have a neckline that sort of traces your jawline and goes up and then back down. And I want to do that. I want to make something with that kind of a neckline. It looks so cozy, and I think it's super flattering. So that is one thing that I'm really excited about making. And then another pattern that that is on my radar for the first part of this year is the Trinigan sweater coat, designed by Andrea Mowry. I think it was released last year, possibly the year before. And her version shows a beautiful, I think it's a worsted open coat that is knit with all spin cycle. So the Trine, which is their, I think their marled yarn, and then some color changing yarn. And I don't think that's what I'm gonna do, but I am in love with the shape of that jacket. And if I'm able, I'm really gonna try and teach myself, you guys, how to use the editing feature in the filming. So I want to post a picture of the jacket because I don't have a copy of the pattern. And this is so my first idea was using the yarn I showed from Life in the Long Grass last time. This is a worsted weight, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. And I also have this yarn from a subscription, a Farmer's Daughter subscription, the Indigenous Collective. And so I'm blown away. This is like insane. I don't even know if they carry this yarn on the regular. It's called Old Man Coyote. And when I got this, they always had some, some extras. So I bought 3 more skeins. This is, I don't know what the yardage is. Oh, 240 yards. So I think I have enough of this to do the Trinigan, the contrast color. So I'm thinking that would be really gorgeous. And it's a mosaic pattern, and it's lots of tiny squares. And I like that. I love this idea of doing it with these two. Yeah, so that's on my radar. Another cardigan that I'm really going to try and insert here is called the Zakkuri cardigan. And I didn't write down the designer's name, but I will post it in all the show notes. We'll have direct links and information down below. But I did buy, and this was last year, I bought this Gilead. I bought this from La Mercerie, and in the colorway Poivre, which is the colorway that the sample on Ravelry is knit in. And I have been wanting to try this yarn. It is really, really, really gorgeous. So I have enough yarn for the Zakkuri cardigan, which is also like it has a very different shape than the Trinigan. It's sort of like more round, and it has a stand-up collar. It's very like, it looks like an everyday sweater, a sweater you're gonna wanna, that's gonna blow away all the other sweaters. So you should check it out. I'll put the link below for sure. That's on my radar. So those three are on my radar, in addition to another shawl by Stephen West. I believe it's called the Smorgasbord shawl, and it is just a party of textures. And he shows it in lots of different colors. I want to knit it completely monochromatic, which means I might have to buy some yarn. Even though I said no more buying yarn, I want to knit it in whites and ivories and ecru's. So I really have none of that in my stash. So I think I might have to buy a skein or two. I'm compiling everything. So what I have is, maybe I have 2/3 for a neutral, creamy white shawl. So I'm very excited about that. I will also be posting a photo. I hope I do, because these hand gestures otherwise are so silly. Okay, so that's my intentions for the first part of this year. Yeah, so I'm excited. And I've gotten some amazing wool in the mail that I really want to share, which I started with. So my no yarn buy, which is I've already corrupted, 2024, did not include Nutiden because, or fibers for spinning. And this is what I received from the latest offering. It was the last of last year. Look at this color, my God. This color, like, I got a teeny little blob of it in a previous order. And I messaged Caroline, who is the owner and maker. This is the color, which I'm sorry I can't pronounce. Blaljis? Not sure. Anyway, I got 300 grams of this, and when I received my previous order, I got a teeny little blob, and I messaged her immediately, like, what is this? Like, what is this color? Because this is, to me, well, I've already explained how it's like super like California blue sky, but it also gives me like Snow White. The blue in Snow White's outfit, it just like takes me there to Snow White. Anyway, I was like completely like, what is happening? So she messaged me back saying it was coming soon. And so I did order 300 grams of that. And I don't know what this is going to be yet. I want it to be something really, maybe a shawl, actually. This might become a shawl. I don't want to hold this with anything because I just want it to be this pure Nutiden. And I haven't even touched it, so I have no idea like how frail it might be. We'll see. And in the same order, speaking of Snow White, I got this. And this is a colorway they've had before. This is Flott. Flott, Flott. And this is like white, nature's white, I believe. I mean, it is. It's nature's white. And like, it's just too good. It's just too good. Can you see it if I hide? Oh my God. I am so in love with this. It's so gorgeous. Okay. those came to me recently, and it's just such a joy to receive the packages. The way they're packaged is so sensitive to like the environment. It's all in paper tape, paper packaging. It's just, they cram these plates into these little lunch sacks. Yeah, anyway, this is also 300 grams, so no idea what this will be. Maybe this could even be like a beautiful sweater together, color work. I don't know, this is winter to me. This is California winter right here. Yeah, so I love it so much. And then I want to share, oh wait, one more thing. Within that order, I was gifted this, which is a very smart gift because of course now I'm going to be on the lookout for this. This color like took my breath away. And I don't know, I hope it's showing up really beautifully in this camera. Just have to peek and see. Basically, this is like creamsicle. Do you remember creamsicles or orange Julius's for those Southern California people? Okay, this is accurate back here. This is like actually summertime. It's a creamsicle, which is a popsicle with a thin orange ice exterior and vanilla ice cream on the inside. And that is this color, exactly, creamsicle. Look at that. It's incredible. It's creamsicle. I can't call it anything else. It's creamsicle. Yeah, back here. It's got to be back here. Anyway, they kindly threw this in, and it's amazing. Very good marketing they're doing over there. And then another thing I got, which was on Instagram. I've mentioned this. She also has a podcast on YouTube, and her name is Madison Montees. And she put up on Instagram that she was destashing this Nutiden yarn, which, I mean, I don't know why she did that, but I'm happy she did. And this is called what is this called? Virvan. And it's all these different, there's a little bit of this. Greens. It's Nutiden, like color changing yarn, basically. And I saw someone on Instagram, and I'm sorry that I'm totally blanking on the name of the maker, but I will link it below. She is making a test knit for Teti's Garden, I believe is her name. She's an incredible Ukrainian designer. And she's coming out with a new colorwork sweater that is just looks gorgeous. And this maker has like divided up the colors and shifting all these colors through the flowers and the stems and the leaves. And so it was like that. Both of these, like the knitter who's knitting the test and Madison putting up a destash happened like in the same day. So of course I was like, I'll take it. And she sent it to me just for postage. She didn't even charge me for this, and it's 500 grams. And I thought that was so generous. So thank you, Madison. So generous. And I am so excited to use this yarn. And I feel like it's gonna last for so long. There's so many opportunities to use it. So yeah. And then I want to talk about, this is the last thing I want to share. So I was part of a sock swap over the holidays. La Mercerie, which is a beautiful shop on Bainbridge Island, close to Seattle, I guess, hosts a sock swap over the holidays. And the idea is they take all of your information and then they do a mashup of all the knitters who have put, you know, their themselves into this pot, and they match you with someone. And the idea is that you gift this person, this match, some socks, sock yarn rather. And so I was paired with a lovely, lovely woman. Her name is Julia. And hi, Julia, if you're watching. And this was the first year that I've participated. Julia has participated in the past. And, you know, it's very interesting because actually what I wound up sending her, which was from Nanette Wake Studio, she is also a Washington designer, and a lot of her wool references, you know, the islands in northern Washington. Anyway, I sent her some of that wool, some little doodads. Yeah. She sent me the most generous, like, amazing box of goodies that it really blew me away. And I want to share them here because it just was so much fun to gift something to someone that I'm just meeting and receive something from someone I'm just meeting. And we had a really lovely exchange over the internet. We kind of talked about colors and all that kind of stuff. But it was a surprise, and I want to share what she gave me because I was very touched by her generosity. So the first thing I want to share, whoops, it's in a bag, is a skein from La Bien-Aimée. It's the sock yarn. And this is actually a colorway that I have been super curious about. And it's called Grello. Yeah, Grello. Oh no. Okay, I think you saw it earlier. There you go. I think this is an incredible colorway. So I got this. She also sent me a little bundle of a mini skein and a little glass globe stitch marker in blue, which is so sweet. And she did not stop there, which I would have been so thrilled with. She also gifted me this beautiful notions bag. And I presume this is from her local yarn shop. And it is fantastic. It is actually quite large. And so it is holding all of my blockers, the Knit Picks blockers that are the straight ones. So there was this. I also got a tiny little pair of beautiful scissors that are already in one of these bags somewhere. So a little pair of beautiful scissors and this beautiful bowl. How do I do this? This beautiful bowl that her husband made this bowl, you guys. And I'm putting some paper clips in it. I mean, her husband made this bowl. It's perfect. It's like a perfect little size for whatever. And of course, what I also was so touched by is the card. This is a hand-drawn card. Her eldest daughter drew this card, and I just think it is beautiful. So all of this to say, I really enjoyed participating in that sock swap, and I'm definitely going to do it next year. And it just meant so much to me to receive so many things that, not just the generosity of the gift, but also like the handmade touches, because I think that's incredibly special. So if you've never participated, you should check it out next December, November. I think she starts posting it after Halloween. It's really special, you know? And yeah, it's cool. It's a cool way to meet a fellow knitting pal. So I highly recommend it. Okay, I think that's my story for today. Yeah, that's my story. So I'm gonna go back to knitting on my Artus shawl. For those of you who are interested in the cowl, please check out the hashtag Pierre a fair cowl. I will link that below. That is running on Instagram, and you know, if you want to participate, if you think you might participate, you have a long time to jump in. But I'd love to see what colors you're thinking of, what yarns you're thinking of. I always find that so inspiring. And yeah, I will post some information about the Zoom meeting kind of later. I think maybe at the end of January or beginning of February. And well, there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, I have a question. So, you know, there's just a onslaught of what I made in 2023 videos. And I'm just wondering, is that something you'd like to see? I could easily make that video as like a one-off. It doesn't even have to take the place of this. Let me know if you want to see what I've made this year. I started podcasting in August, I believe. And I have kept a record of all of my knits. A lot of them, accessories and things, I've given away, but let me know if you are interested and I'll make a video. So, happy January. I hope everybody's doing well and feeling refreshed from the break and knitting beautiful things. Please let me know what you're making, what your inspirations are in the comments below. I do read every single one and I do reply. So it means a lot to me to hear from you. And, you know, it's the new year. Just dusting off last year and starting fresh. I really love that about January. So I wish you all the best and a wonderful start to the new year. Take care.